And joining us via Zoom, as I would expect him to be, he's very Lenny Kravitz right now. It is Lenny Kravitz on our Zoom. Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
And you're very Ryan Seacrest. Come on. Come on.
Well, listen, excited to have you on and cover so much. First of all, it looks like you're safe and in a good place and healthy. And I was thinking about having you on today, and I know you've spoken with people over the last handful of hours, but when you think of legendary artists and legendary musicians and those who can play an instrument, you got to think of the late now Eddie Van Halen, and I just wondered, what was his influence and impact on you, Lenny?
Enormous.
Yeah.
I mean, he was as much of a pioneer as Jimi Hendrix. You know, he defined that sound. He played like no one else played. He was a complete original. And for me, during junior high and high school, I mean, and living in LA, I mean, Van Halen was everywhere.
Yeah. I guess that, And did you spend where did you spend most of your years growing up?
I was in New York until I was 11. And then when my mother got the Jeffersons, we moved to LA.
What was your first impression of LA?
I thought it was really strange because, you know, I grew up in New York City, and you walk out of your apartment and the world is there, you know, and I looked out the window the morning after we arrived, living on the corner of 4th and Ashland in Santa Monica, and I didn't see a person on the sidewalk. A car went by every 20 seconds. I thought it was like a Twilight Zone episode. I thought the world had disappeared. I didn't understand where all the people were.
Yeah, they were on the Santa Monica Blue Bus. That's where they were. They were taking that blue bus out there. At what point, you know, for those who have it in their DNA, I mean, obviously you have something that is a gift, but at what point did you start visualizing what it is that you do so well and do now?
I'd have to say from the time I was 6 years old,
Wow.
I heard the Jackson 5. I heard those records coming out of Motown that were so incredible. We're talking about the best musicians, producers, writers, Berry Gordy, arrangers.
Yeah.
And then you had this uncanny, mystical talent, you know, of Michael Jackson and his brothers. And I could identify with them also. They looked like me. I looked like them. And then my father took me to Madison Square Garden when I was 6 to see my first concert. And I saw them, and the next day, that was it. I knew that music was how I wanted to live my life. I didn't know what that meant, but I knew music was it.
You just felt the magic when you were near it, around it, and making it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Lenny Kravitz is with us. Now, he has written a book called Let Love Rule, and you talk about how this is it's a grand therapy session in a way for you. Tell me more about that.
I didn't see that coming, you know? I never thought to write a book. I took it as a challenge. I was, you know, proposed to do a book, and I started it. I stopped. I started. I stopped. I almost gave the whole thing up. I wasn't sure about it, and then I found my voice. I wrote the first chapter. That it just kind of came to me, and that was the beginning. That whole scenario where I'm having this dream as a 4-year-old about this casket being lowered into the ground, which is very strange that I'd be having that dream. But in writing the book, I ended up working out things that needed to be worked out, especially when it comes to the relationship between my father and I. We had a very difficult relationship. We loved each other, but we had a challenging relationship. And through writing the book, I was able to really look within him, and I saw him as a character, not my father. Because when you're writing the book, everyone's a character.
Right.
I'm a character.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I saw him as a man who was trying to make his way through this life experience with what he had and trying to do the best he could. And as I was writing, any judgment that remained just started to evaporate. And just as if he was here, I began to love him in a way that maybe I hadn't
So had you not written this book, which, I mean, you know, like you said, you never thought you would write one. You've been in this world for a while. Had you not written this book, would you still held resentments or grudges and judgments, things like that?
Well, you know, just so you understand, you know, after the book, you know, we made peace.
You did.
In his later days before he died, and we had time together where we started to communicate, and I got some understanding, but I didn't get all the understanding I wanted. So I would have been fine, but I got more than I could have asked for.
So now thinking musically over the last few months, how has it been for you, certainly considering the state of the world, the universe? What's been weighing on you, and how have you looked at it?
Well, it's been interesting because when I got here 7 months ago, well, I only thought I was coming here for 5 days, but that changed. My studio was being refurbished. I had a flood, long story. My studio was down. So normally when I'm here, I'm in the studio every day. It's part of my day. And I couldn't record. So what was interesting was that I just had to take in everything that was happening and really process it and store it. So it gave me the time to digest it. And my studio just got back up about a week ago. So I was here for
you were without months without being
almost
able to,
7 months with no way to record.
No way to let it out, right? Just write it down.
But it was good. It always works out as it should.
And so when you say it was good, what did you edit things along the way? You had deeper thoughts
because
about
I had to just hear things in my head and feel it and deal with my feelings, and I couldn't get that instant gratification by going in to record it. So it got to marinate longer before I started the recording process.
What comes first for you? Melodies or music or lyrics?
It depends. Mostly it's the chords and the melody. Usually that comes first, and then the words come from the melody. But sometimes it all comes at once. It depends. Sometimes I dream music, and I wake up and I've heard the whole thing in my head.
Wow,
and when that happens, it's a real gift.
So we're sharing the information about the book that you wrote. Well, how about some of this new music? When do you think we get a chance to digest that ourselves?
I would say top of the year. I'm gonna, be recording, every day until the end of the year, and hopefully I'll have enough to put on an album. I'd like to put something out. I won't be able to go on the road yet until the world figures out what that is.
Sure.
When you can put 20, 30, 40, 50,000 people in an area and have them all smashed up against each other. I mean, that's what a concert is. I mean, that's, I know people are trying to do things where they're very separated, but
you want it to be like it was, right?
I'm going to wait for I'm going to wait for that celebration of life.
Well, until then, we've got your book, and I've got your cover of Men's Health to look at here. So I don't know what. However you're living, wherever you're living,
I'm trying to keep up with you, man.
Let me tell you, there's no chance that I could look like that in a photo. It's such a pleasure. I really wish we were in person to have the conversation. I look forward to the beginning of the year. Yeah,
I will come see you.
I love that,
and we will we'll continue our conversation. Until then, stay healthy, stay well.
Thank you, Lenny.
And love.
All right. Take care. Lenny Kravitz, everybody.
Wow.
See you soon.
Take care, y'all.
Thanks, bud.
Bye.
Peace. Bye.
Love Rule is out now.